How important are relationships? We are diving into that topic today, and really the importance of real, genuine relationships with true connection and meaningful communication is the topic for today's podcast. I am so excited. As my guest today, I have Shell Montemayor, incredible agent from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And she places a high value on real relationships with not just her clients, but everyone in her business life. And that extends, I believe, as well to friends and family. Shell, knowing that real relationships is such a core element of your business, could you share with everyone what that means to you? What is a real relationship?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Relationships are so important in real estate. I think it's the most important thing. That's where all of my business comes from. We all know that for clients to want to work with you, they have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you.
Yes.
And trusting you throughout a real estate transaction is super important. Whether you're a buyer or a seller, whether you're an investor, it doesn't matter. Like, they need to trust you because you're representing them every step of the way.
Right.
So fostering that relationship, it's never too early to start working with a realtor, because you want to foster that relationship all the way through. I had somebody call me yesterday that wants to work with me in 18 months and wants to get the relationship started. And I said, now is a great time, because I can learn about their family. I learn about their job, why they're moving here, what's their motivation, how I can best help them along the way. We can learn about different areas, things like that. So relationship is everything to me.
I think that's incredible. And I know you're talking now about leading up to a transaction, that the relationship, the earlier you start it, I believe the stronger your entire transaction will be. So using that same example, are these people looking to sell and buy, or just buy?
They're looking to sell from another state and buy here. And a lot of my buyers are that way. They move from other states and they move here. We hardly ever move people back unless they're looking to move back to their grandkids.
Right, yes. And that is absolutely the best reason for any move. So now we've talked about this relationship where someone is about to enter into a contract with you, whether it's buying or selling. Tell me a little bit more about relationships after someone is finished. I mean, if after they've closed on their new house or they have sold their house, what happens with the relationship after the deal is done?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just rushed back from my reinspection and walked through for one of my clients. And they were telling me, okay, I got to get all my questions in before Monday. I said, I'm your realtor for life. Like, you have access to, you have my phone number, you can text me, you can call me. I am here for you. So I think I was talking to you one time and I was telling you how I don't reach out to my past clients so often because they come to my events and I see them there. But I always have past clients reaching out to me and for anything. Like, it could be home improvement. What do you think of this? It could be solar panels. Please call me if you're thinking about solar.
Please, anyone listening, please call a realtor before you do anything with solar panels.
First, if you're thinking about buying a piece of land in a resort area and it sounds like a great deal from a postcard, please call me before you do that too.
Yes.
I've had clients that have done that, and it is hard to get those sold. So
yes, it is.
Please call me on that. But they call me on just about anything. I had a client call me yesterday. Her mother fell and broke her hip and said, hey, do you know of a good skilled nursing facility for her? And I do.
It's amazing.
I do research on everything. So I did a lot of research on helping my dad through his medical care. And so I said, absolutely. And I sent her 3 recommendations for a skilled nursing facility. So I think that you have to really care to be in this business, and relationship is everything.
I agree. When you think about relationship, and we have talked about that relationship with potential clients, because the reality is sometimes for a variety of reasons, they're not able to sell or they're not able to buy. However, you still have made that relationship. And from what I know about you, you continue that relationship regardless of whether they're able to buy or sell. So I think we have a good idea of that importance when it is directed multi-directional, a two-way relationship between the client and you. What about vendors? So how important do you think the relationships are with, say, your title rep or your closing attorney or your lenders? How do you value the relationships with all the people that come together to make real estate transactions happen?
So that's a great question. I love working with all of my vendors. I'm very loyal to them. So once you're my vendor, like you're my vendor for life, unless you move out of town or something happens. But I value my vendors and I invite them to all my client events too. I love to meet their kids, get to know their family. I buy and sell their homes too, and help them invest in other properties. They call me too when they have where they're thinking about a home renovation or something like that. I had one ask me about taxes last week. My photographer wanted to know about insurance and how that works and what's going on in the market. They also call me about what's going on with market rates and what it's going to look like in the next 6 months. And we talk about that too. So I have a great relationship with them. I know a lot of them, I know their kids and their family. And I love helping others with their business too. So I'm big in helping other small businesses get started and really market them too.
I think that's really incredible. One of the signs of a healthy, I would say, real estate company is when you actually handle transactions directly for your vendors or for people in their inner circle. That means their level of trust in you, not just as an agent, but as an individual with that genuine relationship, is at really a high level. That is one of the questions that I ask as a coach. When I first meet someone and we're doing an overall assessment of their business, I will sometimes ask, do you get referrals from your vendors? And I'm not sure if they know why I'm asking. For me, that's a real filter test of how are the importance of relationships showing up in their world. And that is one of the quick litmus tests to see if you have great relationships. So I think that you've covered the importance. I think that you're clearly staying connected with people that now live in your area, and you're being a resource for them for everything about just living there, being a homeowner in the area, and anything they might need for their friends. You mentioned the skilled nursing care, so they know that they can reach out to you and you're going to be there for them. So now I'm going to ask you a hard question, because clearly you're doing it. How do you do it? If there was a real estate agent or a salesperson, because what we're talking about really is applicable to anyone who's in a service industry or a sales industry. So if someone is listening to you and I talk today and they're like, oh, I want my relationships to have more significance, and they know that there's a disconnect, what actions could they take to start building stronger relationships?
So I say it starts from the moment you meet them, getting to know them, getting to know their family, getting to know what they do for a living, how you can help them, and not just real estate, but in other ways. Through the transaction, going above and beyond to make sure that they get the best house for the money, or they're selling and they're getting the best deal to move forward to their next place. Really getting to know them through the transaction, and then really being there and meaning it, right? Don't just say, hey, contact me if you know anybody, but how can I help you? Really connecting with them on a different level is super important with them throughout the transaction, and then afterwards, making sure you're there for them in every facet of their life.
Okay. So it sounds like when you first meet with someone, it can't just be about, we'll use real estate because that's our industry. It can't just be about how many beds and baths, what school district do you want, what do you have to have, what's the square footage. It can't be about that. If I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying in those initial meetings, it needs to be more the why. So why would that school district be important to you? So would you say that changing up how you ask questions and digging deeper, would that help to create a meaningful connection?
Absolutely. Go one step, even 2 steps. I mean, we had talked about Dale Carnegie in the past. They digging deeper and going up the tree, right? And
that's
then
right.
In my mind, I remember things on this, I think about their family tree, and then okay, they've got twins on this branch, and then they work for American Airlines on this branch, and then they've got grandparents in another state. And what is that whole makeup of what do they like to do? What's their hobby? You kind of think about them as a whole person, not just as a transaction, right?
Yes. So I know someone else is probably out there listening and thinking, How do you keep track of all of that? I will preface this by saying, if you're a people person, if you're naturally people oriented, which I believe you are, we have that ability of filing a lot of that away in our own mind. However, when you're running a big business, which you are, you also need to collect that information so that there's a history and a track record. Could you share a little bit of things that you may keep in a client profile other than what they bought, what they want? What things might you put in the notes section of your clients?
So on our intake form, it'll also ask if they have pets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always ask about their pets unless they tell me like they have pets and they need a fenced-in yard, right?
Right.
For the dogs. But I don't always ask that question. So I made a point of putting it on my intake form. And then what are your pets' names, right?
Yes.
I am not as good about remembering the names of pets and the ages of your children, but that's something that I do care about and want to know about. So maybe I'll send you dog treats or something later, right?
Yes.
So I think that's important to ask that question and take notes. Most of it is in my head, to be fair.
Okay. I do think I have another coaching client that also had a wealth of information in their mind. But sometimes they found they were missing little nuanced opportunities that they wanted to share with people. And it's funny because the example I want to give revolves around dogs. So what she did is whenever she was notified of their birthday, she went into their file and would just add some nuanced information about they're University of Michigan fans and they love greyhounds, right? So, or dogs, right? So, and she would just put a couple of tags and some info. But that allowed her then, there was a special Christmas parade downtown to light the town Christmas tree. And there was a sleigh with greyhound rescue dogs that were bringing the sleigh in. So she ended up pulling up everyone that she knew loved dogs and sent that to them. So that is one of those ways where sometimes when you take that time to pull it out of your head and memorialize it, when you have staff, it allows the staff to further enhance the relationships and say, oh my gosh, I know you know your dog people. Let's tell them about the dog parade for Easter, right? And you can share more information. So I will say that, again, people that have that orientation and knack, you literally are a walking encyclopedia of the people in your life and in your business. And then I would imagine you're also a really good connector. So
relator and a connector. I've done those like personality tests. A relator and connector. I love to bring people together. Even if it's without me, I don't always have time to meet with everybody all the time, but right. I certainly brought friends together and now they're close friends too. I love being that. And relator's a great skill to have. If you can relate to somebody, I'm originally from New York, Long Island, so anybody who's coming from northeast, I have a better sense of what they're feeling and what that move looks like. I have kids. I relate in any way that I can.
Right.
You get a closer bond and you kind of understand where they're coming from.
One of the things that has come through for me in our relationship together is I feel like you have a genuine curiosity around a broad variety of people. I feel like you love people and you genuinely want to know more about them. Would you say that is a good assessment?
Absolutely. I have a broad range of clients too. I love my first time home buyers. Love to teach them and educate them every step of the way. And then my sellers who are nearing in retirement and wanting to live somewhere else and needing to sell their home, I love to take them through that process too. And I know where they're coming from because I've lived it with my parents as well. And
right.
So with estate planning and other things too. But I genuinely care and want to help them however I can make their life easier.
I feel like during COVID, a lot of us, so the whole nation, the whole world had the rug unceremoniously yanked out from under them, right? And even extroverts, we were locked up. We couldn't be around people. We retreated and withdrew. There may be some people today that are listening to our conversation because they want to reclaim the relationships they may have had and the skills have fallen to the wayside. So if you think about that, or they just got out of their routine of seeing people. So let's just say the third party was here having coffee with the two of us, and they said, guys, I'm not feeling it. What can I do to reclaim that spark or reinvigorate some relationships that have suffered? What would you recommend?
So for the relationships that have suffered, reach out. Even if too scared to like make the call and it's not comfortable for you, send a text. How's it going? Just how's it going? I had somebody reach out to me this morning who I haven't talked to in a year or two, and just reached out to me out of nowhere and just said, how's it going? And it would like makes my whole day.
Right. Right.
And so you don't know what everybody else is going through. They could be going through that same thing and feeling like they're having a hard time breaking out of their shell again. So just reach out in whatever way you feel most comfortable. With new groups, what do you like to do? What's your hobby? Do something you like and make a friend. I brought my kids to the park last night, and this girl said, "Oh, you're Maddie and Gigi's mom?" And I was about to, and she said, "Can I get your phone number? I'd love to get the girls together again." And then she said, "What do you do?" And like we just started a conversation that way. So you just have to get out of the house.
Yes.
Well, however that is.
Yes, I agree.
Face to face is the best way. Just get out of the house. Even if you're just sitting there, start a conversation with the person next to you. You never know what that's going to look like.
I think that's excellent advice. And that is something that salespeople in general used to do more often. And we do have some data back where after what we've all gone through, some of those skills have faded off or gotten rusty. So challenge yourself to be the one that smiles first or makes eye contact first or says something first. That could really be an effective way if you feel that you're stuck in a rut.
Yeah. And even if you have hobbies, some people just don't have hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite restaurant that you like to go to? Get to know the people that work there, right? I have an agent on my team. She goes to this restaurant all the time. They know her. They know that she's a realtor. And they said, hey, so-and-so, they were having trouble getting their house sold. And they were moving past their current realtor, and they needed a new realtor. And they said, hey, you need to meet the girl is Dana on my team.
That's right.
She literally within the last hour closed on that house. And that was a listing for her. So because she is very personal and she was out there at her favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
And she was introduced to somebody else, great family, and they just happen to be selling. So you never know what that looks like, right?
That's right.
I have another agent on my team. I tell her like she is great in front of people too. She did door knocked 40 homes today, and she goes to local businesses in her area. She's dual. She speaks 2 languages. She also speaks Spanish, and she went to a Spanish-speaking business. The owners there love her. She puts her card there. She helps promote their business, and it's about that for them too.
So I think that's fantastic. And you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I think you and I could have a temperature contest because I'm in Paradise Valley, Arizona. But today she actually went out. So I'm going to guess it's hot. But she didn't let that stop her. She still made that human-to-human connection. So I think that's fantastic.
We're at 92 today.
Oh, we've got you beat. I'm at 101 and rising. So, but I love it. In case anyone, it's a dry heat.
It's a dry. That's a dry heat.
So you have mentioned now that you have team members, and you are the founder and CEO and the rainmaker of M&M Realty Group in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Multi-million-dollar sales corporation, and you're touching other people's lives by being that leader, being that person that's creating these career opportunities for people. So I am going to make an assumption that you also put care and concern into your relationship with the members of your team. Is that an accurate statement?
Yep. Their goals are my goals. So we set goals and we go through them, and every other week we meet and we go over our goals, and whatever, even their personal goals, their business goals, those goals are my goals. And their why is now part of my why. And so it's important. Their goals are just as important as mine. We're going to get there together, and we're a great team. And if we're ever in a lull, like I put that on my back and like, what are we going to do? Because we have 6 families to take care of, not just my one.
That's right. Okay. So you see yourself as I described you are that rainmaker, the CEO, the leader. and the founder. So you take that on, and I believe you take that on happily. Like you want to contribute and have that ripple effect and impact everyone in those 6 families.
Yeah, everybody's got a different reason why, and they're big reasons why, and I want to help them achieve their goals.
You know what, Shell? You and I have talked, and we know in our industry, it's been a little bit of a tough couple of years. Super high highs, some pretty nerve-wracking anxiety changes, producing changes. So let's talk for a minute to real estate agents that may be listening to us right now. Let's give them a baby step, like an action step they could do right now if they feel as if they lost their spark, or they're feeling a little bit like, yes, I want to reclaim it, and I don't know that very first step. What's a very first step someone could take to get those relationships reinvigorated?
So for those beginning agents that don't have many clients, reach out to your friends.
Okay.
Reach out to your friends. Plan lunch.
Yes.
Dinner. Get together for coffee. Whatever that looks like in your life, do that. Get out of the house and make that connection again. For those that have got going and then kind of pulled back with their spark, hey, reach out to your past clients. Maybe you're not feeling like connecting today, but do a pop by at their house, take a picture. Hey, I was thinking about you. I dropped this by today. Hope you're doing well. Up soon.
I think those are great ideas. And I love how you are thinking about newer agents as well as established. Sometimes with newer agents, well, any agent that's running a business well is going to have a profit and keep an eye on their budget, right? But what we're talking about, it doesn't necessarily cost a lot of money. You could have coffee with 3 people a week for the next 4 weeks, and it's not going to break your bank, right? So for someone new, that is something you could do. You could have lunch once a week with a VIP or with someone that you sense needs some human connection themselves. And of course, with those more experienced agents, again, sometimes those smallest, like you said, even if at the current moment, your mood is stronger and bigger than your goals, and you're like, the phone weighs 500 pounds, I can't pick it up. That's a brilliant idea. Pick up, I don't know, small potted plants that aren't even expensive and do a pop by. I love your idea. Take a picture. I was thinking of you, text it to them. Thinking of you, drop this off today. Again, it's not going to break the budget, but it is going to get you into action. So I know that you are practicing real estate with Keller Williams Dallas Fort Worth. And I'm very familiar with Keller Williams's training and their laws, their bold laws, as they're called. And one of my favorites is motion equals emotion. And without knowing it, you and I just captured that. So if there's someone who feels stalled out and you don't feel like, I can't meet someone for coffee today, I can't talk to someone right now because you're just take action. So if they get in the motion of dropping the things to the house and sending the text, it's going to impact their emotion, and then they will feel ready to answer the phone when the people call to say thank you.
That's right.
Or reply to the text.
Handwritten note, super cheap. Throw it in the mail with a stamp on it, like just reaching out. And then maybe they reach back out to you, and then maybe like with it, that gives you an incentive to meet with them, right? But maybe you just start with that handwritten note, just letting people know that you think about them.
I want to throw in one last idea, and then I'd love anything else that you want to share. I want to make sure we cover that. But it is okay when you're stuck and you need to get things restarted with relationships. It's okay to go easy first. If you have a favorite lender and every time you talk to them, you feel great and comfortable, that can be your first lunch out. It's okay. Sometimes I think people get stuck where they think, oh, so-and-so hasn't heard from me. I've got to make it that one. And their energy isn't at the point where that is a viable option or even a smart option, because you don't want to meet with them when your energy is down. Go to someone safe. It's okay. Now, it's not okay if there's the only people you talk to ever. But if you need to jumpstart things, ask your team leader, ask your office manager, ask one of your best friends at another company, a colleague, agent, ask your favorite vendor. That's all right. It is still valuable. And if anything, it will help you to rebound in a faster manner. So this has been really exciting conversation for me. The relationship is everything. And The communication is the relationship. You briefly mentioned the icon all-time classic Dale Carnegie. If you truly are feeling like, oh my goodness, I need an overhaul, grab the classic. Get out some Dale Carnegie books, How to Win and Influence People, Win Friends and Influence People. For a more current option, you could also check out that book, Never Eat Alone. That's another one that gives you a lot of insight into how can you get your relationships reestablished. You can take your current relationships to another level, and you can really solidify yourself as that resource and go-to person for everyone in your database, everyone in your past clients and sphere, your vendors. You just become that go-to person.
Yeah, there's a social media influencer. His name is Sam something, and I can't think of it at the moment, but he's got like curly hair, and everywhere he goes, he just asks them, how's it going? And he just asks them questions. It could be the waitress. It could be somebody at the car repair shop. Whatever it is, he just asks about their life at the hotel and gets to know people and makes connections like that. It doesn't, and that may be a little less pressure on those that get anxiety, because if you get rejected, you could just walk away, right?
Walk away. That's right. Yes.
No real rejection, how's it going? They could say fine, right? And then there's no real rejection, and you just work on something else, right? I think the other big part of that is I have one of my agents, she doesn't like making calls, and so she works her way up. Okay, this week I'm going to make 2 calls. Mm-hmm. This week I'm going to make 5 calls. Okay, I'm doing like 50 texts, but I'm going to do 10 calls this week. And she works her way up every week.
Excellent. That's really good. So just incrementally increasing as she builds her confidence.
Yep. Just like going for a run. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit further today.
Yes, that's right. You're going to do, that one step further each day. That's just an incredible approach. Well, I want to thank you so much. It is, as I mentioned, you have the M&M Realty Group, and you all are servicing Dallas-Fort Worth. Do you want to share anything more about where you're selling real estate and your area?
Absolutely. We cover all of Dallas-Fort Worth. I live right in the middle, right by the airport. So we service both sides of Dallas. We go up to the Denton-Sherman area, down to Waxahachie, over to Rockwall, and then over to Weatherford.
Weatherford. I love Weatherford. That is a cool town.
Yes. My brother has a 13-acre ranch in Weatherford with his whole big farm.
I love it. Do you have horses?
He does not have horses, but he has all the farm animals.
Okay, good.
Getting horses and another donkey.
Okay. Well, that is an amazing area, and it's great that you have so much coverage. Could you also share with us how many people are on your team?
So we have myself and 3 other agents, and then we have a marketing coordinator and a transaction coordinator.
So I'm going to have in the description all the ways to reach you.
I could not do this without any one of them.
That's right. You guys work together really well. And I know that a core value is the relationships, and everyone on the team places a high priority on it. So it's a great model. If anyone wanted to connect with you, I am going to put all of that information in the description. What's the easiest way for someone to reach out to you?
Send me a text message. 861-2144. Send me
Excellent.
a text message or an email, Michelle Montemayor at kw.com.
Sounds fantastic. I want to thank you so much for talking about relationships today. And I just hope that anyone out there that would love to have an improvement in this area, or if you have any clients that would like to experience the kind of client care that you give, to please connect with Shell. Thanks, Shell.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.